Sean, getting psyched up for a game.
Yes, I'm getting psyched up.
You're getting psyched up. I can see.
Getting psyched up. It's cold.
What, you know, every team's got different. Scala, you've been in the Saracens change room. You know, you obviously been here at Toulon, Munster. What's the best tactics or best psych up speech you've heard? From any of you guys, the best message you've heard. South Africans, we generally quite quiet. Brian, it's not.
Al Pacino.
We're usually very quiet in the change room. You know, it's us that's listening here.
Except, so one of the, I want to say it was the best, but one of the most amusing, entertaining ones was Percy Montgomery at halftime against Zimbabwe.
The first game.
Park the Prawns.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, sorry,
Park the Prawns. So, I think we went to the sheds like, 12?
Not far up.
7 up.
Bonita.
And he goes, so obviously we can't swear, this is a children's program. Yeah. Boys, we're getting effed up out there. Yeah. And I don't like it. Thanks, Martin. No one likes it.
Thanks, Martin.
From the fullback.
Yeah.
But then he said, what he said, like, the first 5 minutes, 20 minutes. Like, he said something.
The problem, we love you, Martin.
That actually got everyone laughing, and sometimes that takes the pressure
The problem
off,
with that game is we were trying, but we just couldn't. That first 20 was brutal.
I think each to his own, right? I think there's a few captains that did really well. And 2006, when did you guys beat Australia?
John
Smith throwing a bottle.
2008 was
2008.
John broke a
John Smith,
the big red.
Who did he throw it at?
Got angry at a wall.
He didn't even play.
He was injured. He was telling us about passion, and I'll show you passion. He picked this glass up and just smashed it against the wall, and we were all like, all right, he's got my attention now. Anyway,
that's unusual for John to get like that.
Jongi Nokwe 4 tries that game.
We beat Australia with a record score, like 60 points or something at Ellis Park.
The Springboks, I think they're playing in their away jersey. That strip.
Yeah.
Alternate away jersey.
60 glycerine.
No, but
the second one. They're playing pure white.
Yeah,
pure white. Not the 60.
There's a change now.
Yes.
It's not the 60.
You need to get your facts right when you prepare for the show.
No, that was a trick question. It was a trick question. Okay. So what does it look like, Jean?
So it's
asking for a friend.
It's a white only jersey with a bit of the baby bluish, and then
the pants are blue.
And the pants are that's kind of like
this one,
Brian's.
This color.
Okay.
It's like that Adidas.
There's no brands. Adidas.
Sure.
I think it's got to do with a few things. Obviously, World Rugby have highlighted the fact, it's just the color blindness awareness that they're trying to create about inclusivity, which I think is really important. And currently, green and green don't.
You went into head boy mode there. Did you hear that? You went into head boy mode.
No, but just let people understand. Okay. I think for all of us as ex-Springboks, I'm going to be brutally honest.
You got to see the value in it.
No. For all of us as ex-Springboks, I think that strip that we wore last week is horrendous. It's horrendous.
I agree. I think for all of us, our favorite jumpers is the white one. Yeah, I love our green is special, but whenever you play in the white one with a little Springbok emblem, for me it was a favorite clip.
But apparently everyone agreed on that jersey. Players, brands, SA Rugby. So, but I don't think they opened the vote up to the South African public.
Exactly. Guys, you didn't get asked.
Are the games Fiji, Australia in trouble?
Yes. Australia are in lots of trouble.
I think it's fair to say that. It's such a difficult one because you, as anything, whether it's a business or team or whatever, you've got a plan set out and you've got an eventual end goal. You know, for Eddie and his group, it was, okay, they're working towards 2027. So you get a squad together, you start building, you get through the Lions series, and then hopefully eventually successful in that World Cup. But the sporting world is just, it's cutthroat. So if you start losing like this, people won't have, they're obviously not happy with that. And I think with Australian sport as well, and where rugby sits in the Australian sporting community or environment rather, they are fighting. They're always up against it. So if they're not winning, they are losing a massive a lot of supporters.
Glad for
well
Fiji,
said. They're not winning, they're losing. Thank you.
Glad for Fiji, because they against Wales they were so unlucky. They were the better side. So proper performance, but like watching them trying to close that game out with a malfunctioning lineout. I mean, I don't know how the coaching staff was looking. I saw Glenn Jackson there, basically just hands in his head. But like we were nervous.
Can they make it through though, Fiji?
Yes.
Yeah. If they finish first or second in their pool, then they go through.
Great insight there. We're getting deep. Now we're getting really deep. Plan A doesn't work. Where do you go to? Plan B.
That's how it works.
Other teams, who do you feel, which teams haven't rocked up to the World Cup?
But a serious answer to your question earlier, that's going to be a very interesting. So if I think we'll get a response from Australia, if they, let's say they beat Wales, then suddenly it's bonus points, points difference, etc.
Then Wales is in trouble because their performance against Portugal was no good. They got the bonus point, which matters. But like in knockout game for the Wallabies, that's Sunday night, I think it is. You know, if they lose that game, they're gone.
Back in the bags.
Guys, it's coming home again, eh?
100%.
England are 2 in a row. It's coming home.
They are believing.
They're believing.
And a bit of Saracens' mindset there, eh? Like a lot more kicks in play, a lot more bite in their defense. Actually, I think it worked in their favor the first game against Argentina. Who, for me, you asked who didn't rock up. Argentina
100%.
did not rock up at all.
Waiting for them.
But the fact that they went to 14 men, actually, I think,
Galvanized them a little
galvanized. And Ford knew that he had to boss it with his boots. I mean, how did he strike those drop goals? It was amazing.
Quickly, Owen Farrell coming back for England. Where do they fit him in?
That's going to be the big question. That'll be the deciding moment.
Do we go back to a Ford? Do we go back to a Ford Farrell 10-12 combination?
100% is what I feel they are going to do. But like I love Tuolagi close to the ball.
Yeah.
But what do they do then?
In the past,
you both work now.
The only thing we can go by is what they've done in the past, and they go 10, 12. Faz is their playmaker at 12, and they move Tuolagi in place of Marchant at 13.
You don't think they'll ever consider playing Farrell at 10?
I think that's
because that's his best position.
But I think Ford's made it hard now.
Yeah,
for them.
I think any way they go will be hard.
But all you guys have captain teams. Maybe sometimes the captain can turn around and see that you have. Weren't you Boks vice captain at some stage?
That's very
still got the captain. You were.
That was vice captain and captain.
Who's the who's the top try scorer? Top try scorer? Does they mention us
at Rugby World Cups? It's actually Portia Woodman Wycliffe.
Okay. Who was it?
John Lomu, Julian Sevilla.
You messaged me to ask you that question before the show.
I saw it. I actually saw the message.
I saw the message.
Was that when after you asked me to order you McDonald's on Uber?
No, but when does it come from a captaincy point of view and he can go to Borthwick and say, listen, I understand I'm captain, but if you feel I'm not good enough to be in this team that's playing this well, then leave me out.
Oof.
Surely that's if we talk about leadership and everything. And you talk about the team and sacrificing.
Look, I think
I'm not saying you should do that, but surely then
Owen's a competitor. I can't see
the one thing about Faz is even though he hasn't been playing, he would have had a massive impact on the mindset, the way they've been training, anything that they've done. He would have signed off, been a part of it. Yeah. He's such a big competitor, so he wants to now obviously get back and play. And he's a great rugby player. So the issue for us is just what happens with 10, 12 and 13. Where does he fit in? I can't see him have a role off the bench, really. I don't think he's that type of player. We want to start with Faz if he's selected.
But also, Shami, remember, he will be sitting there thinking and knowing he can do better. So he's never going to go and say, no, that guy's
No, but it's like if he says, if the coach don't... Because you can also get put in the team just because you're the captain.
Yeah, I was there at once. But it's exactly that. You in your mind, if you're in that moment, you think you can still do better. Yeah. He's such a competitor. It's a very, it's such a delicate situation for them because I think that will have a massive impact as to where they end up in this competition, depending on where they go.
Bryan, who's impressed you the most so far? One player so far this World Cup. Doesn't have to be a Springbok.
George Ford. I'm going to say the way
that's what you won last week, yeah?
No, I just to take that responsibility and onus on yourself as a player, particularly in the pivotal role of fly half. And my Super Bowl pick said Argentina were going to win, and England actually stuff, and he did it all by himself, right?
all of us all said Argentina,
all by himself. And I just think on the world's biggest stage, for a guy who's been out of the squad for a long time in the 4-year cycle, but then step up with the loss of Owen Farrell, it was absolutely amazing. And he's almost again galvanized that England side to believing a bit of confidence post what happened to them in 07.
Sure.
It was very much like, the Johnny Wilkinson coming back and giving them that belief of...
And a similar style of play they're going with. Big line speed, kicking it a lot. Their set piece for the minute is holding on. Their line out is obviously functioning really nicely. And that, when it comes to knockout rugby, playing a low-risk strategy like that, it's hard to play against.